Welcome to the Retiring Canada podcast, where our mission is to educate and empower you to make the most informed, rational, and productive financial decisions. Hosted by certified financial planner, author, and chartered investment manager Michael Isbister, you'll go behind the scenes to uncover the tips and strategies to help you invest smarter, optimize your retirement income, and reduce the amount of tax you pay. Michael is an investment advisor with Fundamental Wealth, a trade name of Harbourfront Wealth Management, an IROC dealer. And now, here's your host, Michael Isbister.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the Retiring Canada podcast. In today's episode, we're going to discuss the 7 key considerations when retiring from a Crown corporation in Saskatchewan. Specifically, we're going to discuss a brief background on the Crowns and their pension, understanding your options when you finally choose to retire, optional decisions that can greatly impact how you're taxed, weighing the decision to DIY versus hire a pro, and lastly, a few action items for you to consider. For all the links and resources mentioned in today's episode, please check out the link in the show notes. Crown corporations have been a part of Saskatchewan heritage before we were even named a province in 1905. And over the years, numerous Crown corporations have been established, sold, privatized, or dissolved. Today, most Saskatchewanians would recognize a Crown when they see one. The largest Crowns being SaskTel, SaskPower, and SGI, representing 80% of the nearly 11,000 employees who work for a Saskatchewan Crown corporation. While all of these Crowns perform a different form and function, there is one common factor they all share in common. Nearly all of the employees participate in the Public Employees Pension Plan, often referred to as PEP. PEP also provides pension planning services for many other non-Crown businesses in Saskatchewan. I'm sure there are some of you listeners out there who have a PEP pension but don't work for a Crown corporation. Combined, the PEP plan has an estimated 67,000 members and nearly $12 billion in net assets as of March 31st, 2022, according to the 2021-2022 annual report. Now, getting back to Crown Corporation employees specifically, in a 2021 Crown Demographics report, it was reported that 16.8% of staff working at a Crown corporation were between the ages of 53 and 59. If we factor in staff over the age of 60, this number swells to around 20%. So what this means is that within the next 10 years, nearly 2,200 of the approximate 11,000 Crown staff will retire with a PEP pension. Now let's assume that the average PEP pensioner who has been employed for 20 plus years has approximately $750,000 in value in their pension. In dollars and cents, this means that there will be an approximate $1.65 billion in retirement assets that Saskatchewan retirees will be responsible for in the very near future. Things like creating a sustainable retirement income, minimizing taxes, optimizing cash flow, and determining when to start their CPP and OAS benefit all need to be factored in when the retirement switch gets flicked on for these PEP pensioners. Now, PEP does a great job providing resources, workshops, and access to financial planners for their members to help them prepare for retirement. I included a link in the show notes that highlights a lot of the things they offer. All these resources are a great start, and for the DIY investor could even be enough support to make it through retirement. The key assumption being that the retiree is willing and able to do a majority of the heavy lifting throughout their retirement. Now, before you say, hey, they have planners I can talk to, just hear me out. Yes, they do have qualified professionals on staff, whose role is to help support nearly 67,000 members. The number of planners and turnover they have amongst them isn't posted on their website, but a quick LinkedIn search for retirement information consultant, as I referred to, only produced a handful of names. And hey, this is great for all you PEP members out there. If you don't have access to a planner, this can be a great start. However, based on the sheer number of members, it may be difficult, if not impossible, to consistently receive personalized advice that a lot of Saskatchewan retirees crave. I mean, think about it. With nearly 67,000 members enrolled in PEP, that adds up to 5,000 plus families per advisor. That number is substantial. Most CFP professionals would agree that around 80 to 130 households is a good threshold for an individual advisor to provide the proper level of service and advice on a one-to-one basis. All right, with all of that, let's get back to the purpose of today's episode: understanding the 7 key considerations for Saskatchewan Crown employees as they step towards retirement. First is understanding your retirement income options. Your PEP funds are vested and locked in effective the day you started with PEP. This means all of the funds must stay registered as a pension and are subject to provincial legislation. Upon retirement, you will be posed with the following options. First, leave the funds with PEP and allow them to accumulate, i.e. assuming you're not starting your retirement income right away. Number 2, transfer to another institution utilizing a locked-in retirement account or prescribed registered retirement income fund. The account you choose will depend on whether or not you are starting an income. The underlying investment in these accounts is up to your discretion. Number 3, purchase a life annuity from the Saskatchewan Pension Annuity Fund. Number 4, utilize the PEP variable pension benefit. This is very similar to the PRIF option, as both allow you to control how much retirement income is withdrawn. And number 5, a combination of one of these. The most common options are generally the variable pension benefit or the PRIF. These 2 choices can be boiled down to 2 key considerations. 1, utilize the variable pension benefit if you're comfortable creating a retirement income stream, optimizing your CPP start date, minimizing taxes, rebalancing your investments, and choosing how and when to withdraw your funds, all with a little bit of help from the PEP in-house resources. Consideration 2, you value professional advice and a personalized approach to creating a retirement income plan that encompasses all aspects of your financial life. This speaks to the personalized and lifetime support you will receive from an advisor who will be with you from start to finish. This option also opens the door to pension-style investing, similar to how the Canadian pension plan is invested. This style of investing typically reduces volatility for retirement investors. An especially important quality you want in your investments as you start to draw on them for income. More on pension-style investing later in the episode. The second consideration is group term life insurance to age 75 and optional life insurance. Now, another option you may be presented with is whether or not to extend your group life insurance and optional life insurance. Most PEP retirees will have a paid up amount of $10,000 that will continue at no cost to the retiree. Beyond that, you will also be presented with the following options, which must be addressed within 31 days of your last day of work. First is group insurance on your life only, and it's usually around $15 per $10,000 of coverage to a quoted maximum. However, keep in mind this coverage decreases by 10% every year while the premium remains the same, i.e. it gets more expensive as you get older. Optional life insurance is also available for both you and your spouse. You'll need to complete a conversion form in order to get a quote. For some, this may be the only source of life insurance to provide for a loved one if they were to pass away. Although the cost may be prohibitive to some, it will be important to complete an insurance needs analysis and compare other options before choosing to accept or decline these benefits. Consideration 3, company service pay, or severance. This is also known as a retiring allowance. This amount is a lump sum that is paid to you as a part of your retirement package. The amount consists of eligible and non-eligible amounts. Here's what it looks like. The eligible retiring allowance can be added into an RRSP with zero impact on your RRSP contribution room. A TD2R direct transfer of eligible retiring allowance form will need to be completed by you or your advisor in order to move the funds to an RRSP. The non-eligible retiring allowance can be rolled into an RRSP depending on your available contribution room. Any amounts exceeding your available contribution room must be taken as cash with taxes deducted at source. Alternatively, you could just take all of these as cash. The full amount would be considered taxable income in the year it is received, and taxes would be withheld and remitted to CRA. For most, it will make sense to defer the payment of tax by sheltering these funds in an RRSP and controlling the amount of tax payable in the future. When it comes to the excess amount that is unable to be deferred in an RRSP, there is something you should consider. If you were choosing to retire either December or January, I would strongly suggest January. That way, any excess amounts received would likely attract a lower marginal tax rate. If you retired in December, your employment income up to that date would significantly increase your taxable income. This could result in a loss of pension benefits like the OAS recovery tax, which is an effective 15% increase in your tax. Also, this is a prime time to consider utilizing a spousal RRSP to shift taxable income to your spouse in the future. Using this strategy gives you the tax deduction and provides some retirement income benefit to your spouse in the future. This is especially important for PEP members, as in many instances, PEP members have a significant pension while their spouse may not have as much registered assets. Considering this strategy now can have a tremendous tax reduction potential in the future. Consideration number 4, superannuate healthcare plan. Within 31 days of your last day of work, you'll have the option to continue healthcare coverage. Upon retirement, you will receive a welcome kit with enrollment instructions. During this time, be sure to compare other third-party options to ensure you get the benefits you need at a competitive price. A few other things you want to consider when making this decision include: does my spouse still have coverage? Is it comparable? Should I just self-insure during retirement, i.e. pay for healthcare costs out of pocket? Do I plan to travel? Consideration 5. Other components of your retirement benefit package. There are a few other items you should know about when you receive your retirement benefit statement. Things like the flexible spending account. Your annual entitlement is subject to repayment based on the number of months not worked in the year of retirement. Disability and dental benefits will cease upon retirement. And vacation credits that you've earned up to your last day of work and remain outstanding will be paid following the last day of work. If usage exceeds your entitlement, the overusage will be deducted from your final pay. Consideration 6. Reasons to leave versus reasons to stay. Now that you have a good sense of what your benefit package may look like, it's time to start weighing your options on how to proceed. Below are some common factors people consider when choosing to stay with or leave PEP. People who generally stay. You are comfortable with managing your investments and rebalancing them periodically to adapt to changes in markets. You do not make irrational decisions during market volatility. You enjoy staying up to date on annual tax changes that are sure to impact your retirement. You have created a retirement income strategy that considers your defined contribution plan, CPP, OAS, and other individual retirement accounts, including those held by your common law partner or spouse. You have a strong grasp of taxation on how to get the most out of your retirement assets. You like spending time reviewing your investments and financial plan on a semi-annual basis to ensure you're still on track. And change can be scary, I get it. Many retirees' largest asset is their pension, and the thought of changing it is scary enough just to stay put. People who generally leave PEP. You are not comfortable managing your retirement nest egg and want to spend less time worrying if you'll be okay. You understand the value of personalized professional advice and want to hire a certified financial planner to do the heavy lifting. You understand that there are other investment options out there that have comparable risk and return expectations. You do not have a retirement income strategy and are concerned you're paying too much tax. You may have complex scenarios in your life that require a greater attention to detail, and you want to be sure you get things right the first time. You want to gain access to less volatile pension-style investments that is not available with your employer's pension. And lastly, you want to simplify your finances and let someone else do the heavy lifting. Consideration number 7. Working with a CFP. Working with an advisor has been shown to add 3% of additional value in comparison to doing it yourself. Although PEP offers limited access to these kinds of professionals, it is unlikely you will experience a fully customized planning afforded to those who hire an advisor. Here's where we come in. Whether retiring or changing careers, we help review your pension benefits statement and help optimize your choices: health benefits, life insurance, tax planning, severance, stock, and more. We customize a retirement income strategy that factors in your personal scenario. This includes CPP timing, TFSA maximization, retirement income tax minimization, spousal accounts, and more. We facilitate the transfer of your pension using a LIRA or PRIF. You don't have to process the paperwork. We help with behavioral coaching, i.e., make sure you don't make rash decisions that can devastate your retirement. We optimize how you're invested. This means we make sure that you have cost-effective, suitable investments that meet your expectations. We periodically rebalance your investments to ensure you have a suitable amount of short-term assets for income needs and long-term assets for growth. We guide you through ongoing tax planning opportunities to help ensure you keep more of your hard-earned money year over year. We integrate all aspects of your finances: cabins, grandkids, inheritances, other retirement accounts, into a holistic solution that works for you and your family. We review your estate plan and ensure a smooth transition and that estate tax is minimized. We keep your plan simple and written in plain English. And we help to ensure strategies are actually implemented, the true measure of a financial plan's success. All right, so the action items for all you PEP pensioners out there. First off, start planning now. You have these free resources to help you prepare for retirement, so use them. I don't care if you're in your first year of work or your last year. Start planning your finances now. Second, see what other investment options are out there. If you think that balanced funds are the end-all be-all solution to managing your wealth, it's time to do some digging of your own. I mentioned pension-style investing as an option for retirees to consider. I'll do a podcast in the near future to discuss this investment style, so hit subscribe to get updates when new podcasts are released. But remember, this is just one option out there in a sea of investment solutions available for Canadians. Please visit our website, fundamentalwealth.ca, if you want to learn more about our unique pension-style investment offering. Lastly, be thankful. Crown corporations provide a tremendous matching program to their pensioners. This matching varies depending on your position, tenure, employer, but can easily be north of 7% of your annual salary. To give you some context, this just doesn't happen very often, if at all, in the private sector, where it's way more common to see a 2% or 3% match. To give you an example of the gravity of this difference in dollars and cents, let's take two skilled laborers as an example. One works at a Crown corporation and the other works for a private company. Both make $75,000 a year and have no change in income, and they do so for the next 30 years. The person working in the private sector has a 3% pension match, while the Crown employee has a 7% monthly pension match. If we assume an average rate of return of 6%. After 30 years, the pensioner with the 3% match will have approximately $380,000, while the PEP pensioner will have a whopping $885,000, $500,000 more. So yeah, not too shabby, I'd say. All right, so that'll do it for today's episode. For the links and resources discussed, please check out the show notes or visit retiringcanada.ca. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe and leave us a review in your favorite podcast app. If you have questions that you'd like me to answer in future episodes, click the link in the show notes and submit your question, and I'll do my best to answer it in future episodes. And hey, when it comes to your retirement, don't take chances. Make a plan so you can retire with confidence.
All comments are of a general nature and should not be relied upon as individual advice. The views and opinions expressed in this commentary may not necessarily reflect those of Harbourfront Wealth Management. While every attempt is made to ensure accuracy, facts and figures are not guaranteed. The content is not intended to be a substitute for professional investing or tax advice. Please seek advice from your accountant regarding anything raised in the content of the podcast regarding your individual tax situation. Always seek the advice of your financial advisor or other qualified financial service provider with any questions you may have regarding your investment planning.